Right. So, last meeting, we initially discussed, in general, no liquidation, and we we emphasized that liquidation is the winding up of the business. So this is when we will convert all non-cash assets into cash, right? So convert non-cash to cash. And we call this one realization. So in the process of realization of non-cash assets to cash, there might be instances wherein there will be a gain on realization or a loss on realization. So when we say gain or loss on realization, we will simply have to compare the book value of the non-cash asset with the cash proceeds that we received when we sold the non-cash assets. So for example, we have remaining inventories, and the book value of our inventories is 30,000. But we sold the inventories at 40,000. So in this case, we have a gain, right? So we have a gain on realization of 10,000. So the gain on realization of 10,000 will then be distributed to the partners based on their profit and loss ratio. So since this is a gain, that means it will increase the capital balances of the partners. But what if we sold the inventories? Let's say instead of 40,000, we sold it at 25,000. So in this case, we now have a loss on realization of, so from the book value of 30,000, we sold it at 25,000. That means we have a loss on realization of 5,000. So this 5,000 loss will again be shared and distributed among the partners based on their existing profit and loss ratio. Okay? So please make sure to mute your microphones when joining our class. All right. And then we have two methods of liquidation. Okay. So we have a lump sum liquidation, and we also have installment liquidation. So when do we have lump sum liquidation? When can we say that a liquidation method being used is a lump sum liquidation method? When we say lump sum, kumbaga isahan lang, di ba? Meaning to say, you will just distribute the cash proceeds once only. Okay. So in this case, if we do lump sum liquidation, distribute cash only once. And when is that? When is that? When all the non-cash assets have been sold already. So after we convert all our non-cash assets to cash, that's the only time that we will distribute our cash proceeds. And you have to remember the order of priority, right? So we will settle first outside creditors, our liabilities to outside creditors. And then second, we will settle all liabilities to inside creditors, meaning to say the loan accounts of the partners. And then we will settle the capital contribution of the partners. And then if there are any excess, then we will distribute the excess based on the profit and loss ratio of the partners. But the distribution will only be made once. Okay, again, after all the non-cash assets have been sold already. So, kailangan i-sell muna natin lahat ng mga non-cash assets. And then, once everything is sold, then meron na tayong total cash na nasa cash on hand natin, yun din yung i-distribute natin based on the order of priority. But we also have another method of liquidation, and we call it installment liquidation. So from the term itself, no, installment, tingi-tingi siya yung liquidation natin. So we will distribute cash immediately after selling one or some of the non-cash assets. So every time mayroon tayong cash on hand, we will use that cash to initially distribute it to the persons that are entitled to the cash. So installment, tingi-tingi. So for this morning's discussion, we will focus first on lump sum liquidation. Okay, dito muna tayo sa lump sum liquidation. Okay. So let's have an example. Let's say we have partners A, B, and C. Okay, and they decided to liquidate their business. Their profit and loss ratio is 2 is to 2 is to 1 respectively. So 2 is to 2 is to 1 yung profit and loss ratio nila. As of the date, as of the date prior to liquidation, here are their balances in the balance sheet. So they have assets. Okay. Yung assets nila is composed of cash. Let's say yung balance of cash nila is, wait, let me just format this one. Okay, so the balance of cash is 200,000. And then they have several non-cash assets. So to simplify things, we will just call everything na hindi cash as non-cash asset. So let's say ang total na non-cash assets nila is 3,400,000. Okay, so yung total assets is 3,600,000. Liabilities and equity portion of the balance sheet. Let's say they have accounts payable of 1,120,000. They have a loan payable to B in the amount of 50,000. They have a loan to C in the amount of 80,000. And then the capital balances are the following. A capital is 950,000. B capital is 600,000. C capital is around 800,000. So the total liabilities and equity of the partnership should be equal to the total assets. Okay, so balance yung balance sheet natin. Okay. So let's have the first scenario. So let's assume that all the non-cash assets, diba, based on the given items. We have here total non-cash assets of 3,400,000. Now let's assume that the non-cash assets were sold at 2,500,000. So do we have a gain on realization here or a loss on realization? So just compare the book value. The book value of the non-cash assets is 3,400,000, but we sold them at 2,500,000. And so we have a Gain or loss?
Loss po.
Correct. So we have a loss on realization. So how are we going to record that one? What do you think is the journal entry to record the loss? So mag-journal entry muna tayo. So when we sold the non-cash assets for cash at 2,500,000, we will then debit cash for the amount of proceeds, right? 2,500,000. Then we have to debit loss on realization. How much is the loss? So the difference between 3,600,000 and 2,500,000, that is our loss on realization in the amount of 900,000, right? And then credit the non-cash assets of 3,400,000. Okay, so if we add the two, the resulting figure is 3,400,000. Okay, now again, we have to distribute this loss and realization to the partners, okay, based on their profit and loss ratio. Okay, so a loss has an effect of decreasing the capital balances of the partners. And so we will debit the capital balances. Okay, so debit A, capital, debit B, capital, debit C, capital. And then credit loss on realization of 900,000. Okay, how much is the share of A in the loss?
360,000.
Okay, 360,000. How about for B?
So 360,000.
360,000. For C,
180,000.
180,000. If we add the 3, it should result to 900,000. So that is correct. Okay. So next question is, how much cash do we have now?
2,700,000, ma'am.
Correct. So we now have 2,700,000. And since this is an example of a lump sum liquidation, we will now distribute that balance of cash, now 2,700,000, to first the outside creditors. We have here outside creditors represented under the accounts payable na balance. And we have inside creditors. We have a loan payable to our partners B and C. Okay, and then after that, whatever is left or whatever is remaining, we will then give that to our partners. Now, we can actually prepare a statement of liquidation. Okay, I'll just put it here. So we have cash, non-cash, we have accounts payable, we have B, loan, C, loan, A, capital, B, capital, C, and then we will call this one statement of liquidation. Okay. So first, what we did is, let's just put our profit and loss ratios here. So if we are to convert the profit and loss ratio into percentages, what is the percentage attributable to A? So 2:2:1. So it's like saying A will receive 40%, right? And then B is 40% as well. And then C will get 20%. Okay. Now we have balances before liquidation. For a while. Just change the format. So balances before liquidation. Let's just copy everything based on the balance sheet. So cash is 200,000. Non-cash is 3,400,000. Accounts payable is 1,120,000. Loan to B is 50,000. Loan to C is 80,000. A's capital is 950. B 600,000. And C 800,000. Okay. So these are the balances before liquidation. And then we sold our non-cash assets, so sale of non-cash assets. We sold everything. This one, 3,400,000, so negative. So we will remove that one now. And then the proceeds of 2,500,000 will be added to cash. And then again, we have a loss of 900,000, which will then be shared among the partners. And based on our journal entry a while ago, we have the following shares for the losses. So A's share is 360,000. So that means a negative of 360,000. B's share is also 360,000. And then C's share is 180. Okay. Then we have now the balances. So 200,000 plus the proceeds of 2,500,000 is 2,700,000. This one now is 0. Accounts payable is the same. Same goes with the loan. But for the capital balances, we have now 590,000 for A, 240,000 for B, and 620,000 for C. Okay, next. So what is our first order of preference? We have to settle first all our liabilities to outside creditors. So again, for the outside creditors, this is under accounts payable, no, this one. The balance is 1,120,000. And looking at our cash, enough naman yung cash natin, di ba, to settle all the outside liabilities. So, we now proceed to the payment of liabilities to outside creditors. So, we will pay this off from our cash. So, there is also a corresponding decrease. Okay? So, and then we now compute our new balances. So, from our So from our 2,700,000 na cash, we paid our outside creditors of 1,120,000. And so what remains now is just 1,580,000. So that's 2,700,000 minus 1,120,000. Next, what is our next priority? Our next priority is to pay off liabilities to inside creditors. Okay, these ones, right? So payment of liabilities to inside creditors. So, eto, may loan tayo kay partner B, meron ding loan kay partner C. Okay, so let's settle this one. Pay, pay. A total of 130,000. Okay, balance. Okay, so after paying all the loans to our partners, magkano na lang yung cash na natira? So, ito yung remaining cash. 1,580 minus 130,000 is 1,450,000. Okay? And then, we have their capital balances. If we add everything, that is also equivalent to or equal to 1,450,000. And so, our cash is enough to pay off all of these capital balances. So, etong capital balances, this actually represents the initial capital contribution of the partners plus their share in the profits and losses, right? So, payment to partners. 590,000. This one is 240,000. This one is 620,000. A total of 1,450,000. Okay? So, yun. Since all cash have been distributed and all liabilities have been settled, then we can say that we are now done with our liquidation. Okay? So that is our first scenario. All right, then we proceed to the next scenario. We have the second scenario. Let me just delete this one. Okay. Our second scenario, so let's assume that the non-cash assets were sold at 1,850,000. Okay, assume that the non-cash assets were sold at 1,850,000. So our debit to cash is 1,850,000. We will still credit non-cash assets at 3,400,000. But this time, our loss is how much? So that's 3,400,000 minus 1,850,000. So our loss on realization is 1,550,000. So that should be our credit on the next journal entry. So how much is the share of A for the loss?
$620, ma'am.
620. So let's just check that one, huh? So this is times point. Correct. So 620,000. Same goes with B, 620,000. And then for C, 310,000. Okay. So looking at our statement of liquidation, all else, the first two rows will remain the same. So we have here the profit and loss ratio of each partners. And then we have here the balances before liquidation. And then this time, again, we sold the non-cash assets but only for 1,850,000. So all of these will be removed, but our cash received is only 1,850,000. Okay. Then we have the losses shared by the partners. So A's share of the loss is 620,000. B's share of the loss is 620,000. And then C's share of the loss is 310,000. Okay. Now, if you notice, um, okay. If you notice, we have uh, B with a capital deficiency. Okay. So we will deal with that later. If we look at the cash here, we have 2,050,000, and it is still enough to pay off our outside creditors, right? So let's pay off first our outside creditors. So remove that, and then a deduction of 1,120,000 from our cash. Okay. So we now have 930,000 remaining cash. And then the next payment should be to inside creditors. Now, if you notice again, B has a capital deficiency. So nag-negative na yung capital ni B. But meron din namang loan si partnership kay B. So B is entitled to receive 50,000, right, from the loan. And with that, B can exercise his right of offset. So meron siyang right to offset the capital deficiency with the loan. Eh 'di ba, kung wala siyang loan, kailangan siyang magbigay ng additional investment to cover up the deficiency, right? But since meron naman siyang receivable from the partnership in the amount of 50,000, then B can exercise his right to offset. Okay. So, um, prior to this one, okay, prior to payment of liabilities to inside creditors, let's just insert this one, no? Exercise of the right to offset. So, yung 20,000 niya, will be shouldered by the loan. So, offset. Okay? So, with that, wala ng capital deficiency si B, right? So, naging zero na yung capital balance niya. But B still has a receivable from the partnership in the amount of 30,000. So then, let's now pay the liabilities to inside creditors. Wait. Okay. So, ito, B will receive 30,000. And then C will receive 80,000 for a total of 110,000. Right. Then, so correct ba? 820. Okay, correct. So the remaining partners with balances of capital is A and C. So 330 plus 490 is equal to 820,000. So we have the entire 820,000 to be distributed to A and C. So this one now is 330. This one is 490. A total of 820,000. Okay? So any questions so far? No questions? Okay. Let's now proceed to the third scenario. Okay. Our third scenario is when we sold the non-cash assets at 1,700,000. Okay, 1,700,000. So this one now is a debit to cash of 1,700,000. And so we have a loss on realization of also 1,700,000. So again, paano kinumpute yung 1,700,000? Simply deduct the book value of the non-cash assets. You simply compare the book value of the non-cash assets and the cash proceeds of 1,700,000. So we have a loss on realization of 1,700,000. So this will then be shared among the partners, right? So based on their profit and loss ratio, so the share of A is 680,000, whereas the share of B is also 680,000, and the share of C is 340,000. So for a total of 1,700,000. Okay. So let me just erase these ones first. All right. So first one is realization of the non-cash assets. So all of these will be removed. And then the cash proceeds is only 1,700,000. Then the share of the partners in the loss on realization, share of A is 680,000. Share of B is also 680,000. And then share of C is 340,000. Then we look at our cash, and then it's still enough to cover all the liabilities here, right? So we now settle these liabilities using our cash. Okay. And then, as you can see here, we have a capital deficiency of B in the amount of 80,000. He can still exercise his right to offset, but the loan is not enough to cover all the capital deficiency. But let's first do this, the exercise of the right to offset to cover the capital deficiency. Okay, so after that, the balance of the capital deficiency of B is now 30,000. And then what is the rule, gani? If meron tayong capital deficiency, the partner should add or should contribute additional investment to cover the capital deficiency. But that is if the partner is not insolvent, meaning to say, if the partner is solvent. So let's just assume that partner B is solvent. So kung solvent siya, he has the capacity to contribute additional investment to cover the deficiency. So investment of B. Let's just say additional. So meron tayong additional na 30,000 received from B. Okay. Then we now have the balances. By the way, if the meeting ends, kasi 40 minutes lang naman daw yung allowance ng Zoom account natin. So just rejoin using the same link, ha. So payment of okay, so meron na tayong 810,000. So we will use this to pay off C. Okay. And then the rest will be used to pay off the remaining partners. 270,000, 460,000, and 730.